Hello beautiful ladies, this is Ashley Kate. Welcome back to my channel. I just want to quickly say I really appreciate everybody watching my videos and giving me support on my channel. Sometimes it can be a little bit difficult when I don't know who is watching these videos, and I really appreciate everyone who watches and supports me, because I know there's just a lot of other videos you could be watching. So I'm really grateful that you are sticking around and following me. So today's video, I wanted to discuss how long should you wait to have sex with a man. Now, when I was dating, I did find myself asking this question, and I come from, I've had experiences of doing everything from sleeping with a man really quickly on the first date, having one night stands, to waiting past date 3 to have sex with a man. And I've had all kinds of varied results. So one guy I slept with really quickly, we ended up in a relationship. Another guy who I didn't sleep with after 3 dates, he disappeared after the 3rd date. One night stands I've had that I didn't expect to see or hear from the guy again. He ended up wanting to see me. So it's all very varied, and I think there is a case for all of these situations. I think that's why when I was thinking about how to answer this question, it was a little bit difficult, because it does depend on you and the guy you pick. So everything is personal preference, which I know makes it really difficult when you're watching a video like this, because you probably want a bit more guidance. So I'm going to tell you what I think is the best way to handle this particular situation. Now, if you're asking this question, most likely it's because you want to be perceived the best way possible. You know, there are a lot of let's say men and dating gurus who have their own opinion, and one of the advice going around is if you have sex with a man too quickly, you're going to be perceived too easy. You know, he's not going to respect you as much. He won't think of you as girlfriend material, wife material, if you sleep with him too quick. There's also women who feel that sex is a special thing, and they want to withhold that until they're in a special relationship to share that experience with a special man. And I think that's great as well. So all of these different situations, there are no wrongs. There's no wrong answer. Some of them will definitely apply to some people, but it won't apply to everyone. So my opinion is, because you don't know who you're going to be dating or trying to impress, or who the other person is, right? I do believe you should go into any dating situation with a level of respect for the other person. So just like women expect men to care about our feelings and what we think, we should vice versa care about what men think and their feelings. So one of the things I know is true is there are still a lot of men out there who are very traditional, which means they would rather wait to have sex with a woman they really like, especially when they really respect her and they see her as a high value woman. They would rather hold off and wait. And in fact, and my husband was one of these men, they will not even push for sex. They won't even try to have sex with you on the first few dates, because they want to do it the traditional way, and they think that that's the classy way of doing it. And also, I guess this is the downside, or the flip side of that thinking is, if a woman was to sleep with him or try to sleep with him on the first night, he will actually resist it. Okay, now this may be a little bit confusing for some of you ladies who aren't as traditional, who just want to have sex when you feel like it. You know, if you were to come on to a guy and he rejected you at least in terms of sex, you may be really offended by that. He's not rejecting you because he doesn't like you. It's just because he's a gentleman. He's one of those traditional men that would rather wait. And a lot of that has to do with wanting to preserve that, nice girl image of you, for the future. So he's already preparing for how he's going to think of you in the future. The future him is going to think of you. So if he slept with you too quickly, he's worried that's going to somehow taint his view of you in the future. If you want to put yourself out there as the best version of you possible, then you should take into consideration what men think, or some men think anyway. So with that said, my opinion is you should wait. Wait for as long as you can. Wait until you're pretty sure he also wants a committed relationship with you. The reason you should wait is because there are no downsides to waiting, but there are a lot of downsides to having sex too quickly. So one of the downsides to having sex too quickly, if he was to disappear after you have sex, it still sucks more to us women than if you didn't have sex and then he disappeared. I'm not sure why. I think that's because women, we get attached faster if we have sex with a man. So if we had sex with him and then he disappeared, it just somehow feels worse than if we didn't have sex with him and then he disappeared. Okay, so that's one way of at least safeguarding yourself, and so you don't have sex too quickly. Another downside for having sex too quickly is if you do have sex quickly becomes the convenient go-to activity versus all the other things you could be doing. So, instead of taking you out on dates, instead of, going hiking together, doing activities, spending hours talking and asking each other deep questions and getting to know each other, it just kind of becomes, no, just have sex. Okay, let's just get together and have sex. Because sex is the fastest way to feel intimate with someone. It's just convenient. So when we're feeling lonely or we're bored, there's nothing to do, then a lot of times, if it was a choice between calling your partner up, getting them over here, and then you just jumping into bed together, or you having to plan a weekend out, spend money, pick them up, a lot of times it will just go to the sex because it's just convenient, it's easier, it's cheap, you don't have to spend any money, you're getting the same emotional needs met. So unfortunately, that's just what quickly ends up happening, and it doesn't mean he doesn't like you. It doesn't mean you're not worthy to be taken out on dates. It just means he's taking the easy option instead of putting all that other effort in. And the third reason is it really skews your perception of him. So if you have sex with a man you don't really know that well, if the sex was great, then you may think he's more amazing than he is. And if the sex wasn't that good, then you may think he's a dud and you're not compatible. So sometimes when you don't know much about the other person, you may judge him too quickly just based on your sexual compatibility or his sexual performance. I've had one boyfriend, the first time we had sex, it was amazing, it was really good. But then after we got into a relationship, it became really routine and boring. Okay, so sex really, it was like he pulled out all the stops that first time, and then after that, he just gave up. He just got really lazy. Okay, so sex didn't really tell me anything about how sexually compatible we were. And in fact, I would say I was a little bit misled by that first encounter. And I also had another boyfriend where the first time we had sex, it wasn't that, I wouldn't say it was anything mind-blowing. It was very quick. It was a little bit awkward, but thank God I didn't judge him based on that performance, because after that, the sex just got better and better and better. So I really think you shouldn't judge a guy based on his sexual performance in the beginning, because often it'll be different to, what happens when you're in a relationship. There's quite a bit of downside to having sex too quickly. And if you compare that to waiting, okay, what are the downsides to waiting to have sex? To me, yes, you have to wait, but that's not really a downside, okay? Waiting just means you have to delay gratification. And there are lots of areas in life where, the thing that you really want, a lot of times we have to wait to get it. So whether that's dieting, losing weight, building a business, saving enough money to go on vacation, all those things require you to be patient and to waiting for something to happen. So to me, I think if you know you're going to end up in a great relationship and you're thinking forward, then delaying it a little bit is actually a good thing and actually to be expected. There is no need to rush into it on the first night if you know you're compatible and you're gonna end up in a relationship anyway. And once you're in a relationship and you have real feelings for each other, then you can have all the sex that you want and it'll be a lot better than it would have been if you didn't know each other. Delaying gratification is also a great way to show that you're a strong woman, you have strong willpower and a lot of self-control. Because I guess to me at this point in my life, I don't think sex is that important. Like, I can withhold having sex. It's not that big of a deal. And if you think you cannot withhold, rush into it because that's how you feel, I would challenge you to ask yourself why you think that is. Why you think you have to succumb to that urge when you have the urge. Okay, is it because you think you're not going to get it later? And you feel like you need to just be in the moment and just indulge in the moment because maybe you fear that you're not going to get it later on. So in the end, I still believe there are no downsides to waiting. It's still better to wait. Good things come to those who wait. By waiting, you're really giving your relationship with this guy the best chance for it to develop the right way. Because, if you're not having sex in the beginning, then you must be hanging out, getting to know each other, going on dates, doing things together because you like each other, because there's some kind of friendship there, which is a great foundation for a lasting relationship. You don't want your relationship to be just based on great sex, because if that's all there is, it's not going to last. That is my advice this week. If you like this video, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Give me some feedback. Ask me some questions. And I'll see you soon next week. Bye.